Let's call a meeting to order. Monday, December the 19th, 2005. It's 7:04 p.m. The invocation this evening will be given by the Reverend Howard Harden of the First Baptist Church of Homestead, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Councilwoman Linda Bell. Would you all please stand?
Let us pray. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for your goodness and your grace upon us. And we pause now to follow the example of our founding fathers and to acknowledge that it is because of you and by your providence and your mighty hand that we have the privilege of living in a nation that is free, enjoying these liberties, and even the ability to govern ourselves. We confess how much we need your direction, and therefore we lift up these servants that are represented here tonight. We thank you for them. We thank you for the sacrifices that they make. We pray that you would honor those sacrifices and those efforts and bless them with wisdom that is from above. And in all that we say and do, may we remember to love you first and foremost with all of our heart, soul, mind, and strength, and to love our neighbors as ourselves. For we pray this in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen.
Please join with me as we pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mayor Warren.
Here.
Vice Mayor Losner.
Here.
Councilwoman Bell. Here. Councilwoman Garner. Here. Councilman Hodge. Councilman Porter.
Here.
Councilwoman Waldman.
Any additions, deletions, or deferrals?
Yes, Mayor. Item 7E, tab 16, Campbell East Commercial Plaza, to the next scheduled council meeting. We want to take a little bit longer to look at the traffic study.
Okay.
I think that's January 10th.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. And that's it for deferrals. Special presentation. Ms. Wallman is not here. Reference poor Lenny, but I'll read a note. Phil Morosini is an author, director, playwright, and will be filming a movie in Homestead called Poor Lenny. Councilman Warman invited him to come tonight to inform the public of the movie. Many of the actors will be from the Homestead area, and the filming will begin in January. Is Mr. Phil Morosini in here? Would you come forth and...
Announce for the record on that last tabled item, the meeting will actually be January 17th, 2006 at 7 p.m.
Thank you, David. Give us your name and address for the record.
Yeah, Phil Maricini, 13955 Southwest 248th Street. It's actually Princeton Homestead right in between there, kind of in limbo. First of all, I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity and let me go first as well. I know you have a lot of important issues, and hopefully this is a little lighthearted news that I'm bringing to you. Some of you know me. I've been a resident of the area since 1970. I'm president of the Ag Council. I was just elected as one of the advisory directors to Farm Bureau, and I operate Summerland Tropical Fish Farms, which is a second-generation ornamental tropical fish farm. My dad used to publish a little community newspaper called the Journalino, which was a give-out paper, and it used to be given out at Tony Stangoni's, and I used to help edit it and do the typesetting. So I kind of was involved in writing, and I started writing comedy probably about 10 years ago. And what I've done is I've written a play about 4 it was a South Dade play, basically, about four friends, and it's about the trials and tribulations of their friendship. It's a dramatic comedy. I met a director in Homestead, and we produced the play on May 28th, 2005 at South Dade High School. A bad weekend. It was a holiday weekend, but we still had about 230 people that were there, and it was received very enthusiastically, and it kind of encouraged us to go forward. The opportunity came up, and it is coming up January 14th, 2006, which is Saturday at 8 p.m. A group of 24 local actors and actresses from this area and myself are going up to the Julius Littman Theater of Performing Arts in North Miami Beach. It's a professional theater. It seats 930 people, and we will be performing a one-night stand there. This is kind of like our final tune-up, because after that I plan to come back to Homestead and make a film version of this with the dream of entering it in 3 or 4 national film festivals. I've never done anything like this before. I'm not here to ask for money. I've already taken an equity loan on my house to finance it. But I would like the city to consider a few things. Number one, I would love cooperation. I would love to film it in Homestead, even though Bird Bowl has offered me the facilities. This is a local play about Homestead. I would love the city to help promote it and get some community involvement in it. I spoke to Judy. We will video the play, and I told her the video is available to show, and she suggested maybe a street party or something like that when you hold a function at Losner Park. Judy has 40 tickets that I've given her for anybody here interested in going, because I think the first step would be getting the city of Homestead to go up and see the play to see if they're all interested in supporting the idea. With that in mind, I have more tickets than that if anybody needs any. I'll be glad to give them away gratis, because I would love to do this for the city of Homestead. My original dream was to do it at the Seminole Theater, but my timing is not quite right with the Seminole Theater, which I sure hope it will get done, and maybe it will come back someday and we'll perform it there. I just want you to come up and judge it. I don't know if you can arrange a bus or something, but the tickets are provided for you. I don't know what else to tell you besides that. I just want the community support as much as possible. I think it can be fun for the whole community, and as I said, I'm not looking for any financial backing or anything, just some support from you after you see the play and are familiar with it, to see that it's something that will go forward, and it will mention Homestead in the movie, and it will be on a national basis. And it's just kind of a dream that I put together, and I'm going for it, unless my wife has me Baker acted or something like that. I have some flyers. I'll be glad to leave some up here. Ticket locations and different things, and also there's a website. You can check out the website, and I guess that's pretty much it, unless there are any questions or anything.
Mr. Marasini, we certainly want to not only wish you luck, but congratulate you on this initiative, and let me share with you some pretty good actresses and actors right up here, so if you need any additional help. Well, when we come back to do the movie, there are a lot of extra parts that are not filled. I've already talked to the mayor of Florida City about putting his family in a scene, because he said he would let us film in the chamber if we needed to film a courtroom scene in the chamber. So, I mean, there's plenty of room for extras. I want to make this a fun thing. We have had so much fun doing this, the 24 actors and actresses. We rehearse at my house. I have a 3-car garage that's been converted into a stage. It is open. If anybody wants to come, just call me and I'll let you know what nights we're rehearsing. Well, thank you, sir, and good luck.
Hey, I appreciate it.
That's good.
As long as the porter's not here.
Here he is.
Next on the agenda is the employer of the quarter, Homestead Hospital. And I'll read a letter from Mr. Corey Gold about the nomination for the Employee of the Quarter. Dear Councilman Hodge, I'm writing this brief letter as support for my nomination of my employer for the City Homestead Employee of the Quarter Award. I'd like to nominate Homestead Hospital for this honor. As you know, Homestead Hospital is one of the largest employers in Homestead. And when I joined the team in 1996, there were 408 employees. Today, we provide employment with generous and competitive salaries to more than 600 FTEs. In the last few years, Homestead Hospital has become one of the most prominent healthcare institutions in the state of Florida, and Gallup surveys have demonstrated consistently high employee satisfaction scores. In addition, we can boast higher patient satisfaction as being one of the highest-ranking hospitals in physician satisfaction throughout the country. A great employer hires great management, and Homestead Hospital can brag about its outstanding leadership. Great leadership, great employees is what makes Homestead Hospital the leading employer in the city of Homestead. Finally, Homestead Hospital is very active in the community with active memberships in Rotary, the Kiwanis, the Chamber of Commerce, SORT Optimist, Keysgate Charter School, Vision Council, and American Red Cross. We take great pride in our community in those things that improve the quality of life in Homestead. Please consider Homestead Hospital for this wonderful honor. Sincerely, Mr. Corey DeGold. Ms. Sue Curla, Homestead Resource Director, will be accepting this award on behalf of Homestead Hospital. And congratulations. And as you come forward to have some very special gifts, Employee of the Quarter, Homestead Hospital has been awarded lunch at the restaurant of your choice from Community Bank, Marketing Department, Councilwoman Amanda Garner. Certificate has a maximum value of $50. It's the first award. And here's a gift certificate from the Capri Restaurant. Well, two gift certificates. And finally, there's a plaque from the City of Homestead. The City of Homestead proudly recognizes Homestead Hospital as the Employee of the Quarter, July through September 2005, in recognition of your commitment to your employees and the community. Mayor and Council, City of Homestead. Congratulations again.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm very proud to accept this on behalf of Bo Bollinger, our CEO, our Board of Governors, our medical staff, administration, and of course the employees of Homestead Hospital. We're very happy to be here for the community. We take our mission seriously and hope to be here for many, many more years in our brand new facility next year. Thank you very much for this honor.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is the Office of the Month. Officer Antonio Tanner, Councilman Porter, Chief Rule. Captain Foglia. Congratulations, Captain, again. The captain was just promoted from lieutenant to captain last week, I've been told.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Congratulations.
Mr. Mayor, Mr. Vice Mayor, City Council, Mr. City Manager. Officer of the month for October is Antonio Tanner. Of course, we have Chief Outlaw here, and our Police Commissioner, Councilman Porter. I'd like to go over some of the things he did during that month, which, if you recall, was Hurricane Wilma. But let me give a little background on Antonio. He came on our department as a reserve officer in February of '04. At that point, he had worked for Miami-Dade County since 1993 in the Human Services Division. March of this year, he decided to come on as a full-time officer. He's one of our new officers. He's gone through his training and recently went out on his own, in his own squad car. To give you the background, during the hurricane, we go on something called Alpha Bravo, 12-hour shifts. He was on the night shift, 7 p. to 7 a.m. Now again, remember, this is a fairly new officer in the car by himself during a pretty trying time. And if you recall, they enacted a curfew. And what he did, during that month, he made a total of 10 arrests. But the majority of those arrests were for curfew violations. And he was locating individuals in business areas, residential, around people's houses at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. And this is on his own. He would stop these people. Some of those arrests even turned to narcotics and weapons violations, that type of stuff. But you can see, for a new officer, it shows how highly they're trained right now. And he's just done an outstanding job. I'd like to give you some of his additional stats. He handled 235 calls for service, also wrote 36 field interrogation cards, and wrote 25 tickets, hopefully to nobody in here, but and of course the 10 arrests. I'd like to read a little caption from the nomination letter, which is written by his sergeant. What sets Officer Tanner's stats apart from the others is the fact that he is a new officer. He's in his second month as a probationary police officer. His enthusiasm to learn and work productivity should be an example for his fellow officers, both veterans and newly hired officers. Officer Tanner strives to make a difference, and his work productivity has made an impact on crime within the city of Homestead. So I think for one of our new officers, that's great accolades, and it's with great pleasure he receives our Officer of the Month for October 2005. Council's Board.
Well, we're, as a community, very blessed to have, obviously, in our leadership and our command staff in the police department, very dedicated and obviously important to what the younger membership coming into the police department obviously learn from the leadership. And obviously, Captain Foglia is one of our new captains, and the mayor was gracious to thank the chief for doing that. But one of the things that I'd like to say, that the chief also made some other appointments to upgrades in the police command staff, and all these officers really do put their heart and soul into their jobs, and the chief was able to reward some of those in his command staff for doing an outstanding and excellent job, and I'm sure Officer Tanner will be one of the next ones to probably move up the food chain too. So, but it is with great pleasure that I am able to give you, on behalf of the business community and the community at large, the plaque is Awards Inc. The City Attorney's Office is a $100 donation. First National Bank of South Florida is a $50 savings bond. TIB of Crum Avenue is a $50 savings bond. Community Bank is a $50 savings bond. Tony Seven Grill is a free meal of choice. Ferguson's Jewelry is a $75 gift certificate. Ruby Tuesdays is a $20 gift certificate. Global Technologies Partners Inc. is a $50 check. Logos on Old Dixie is a $50 gift certificate. Carl Pelch is a $25 value oil change. Homestead Transfer and Storage is a $25 check. Dale Blake from Blake Chevrolet is a $300 value detail tire rotation on your car. Captain Car Wash is also a $20 value free car wash. Evolution Inc. Paul Kruger is a $20 gift certificate. Mita Jensen is 2 memberships to the Homestead Community Concerts, and Stickenstein is a free pool stick. And I want to thank the community for really coming out to support the police officers, because when we're asleep at home at night, they're not. So, with great pleasure, on behalf of the mayor and the city council, I'd like to give you this plaque, which reads, presented to Officer Antonio Tanner for being selected Officer of the Month for October 2005. Congratulations, Anthony.
I'd like to be very brief. First, I would like to thank God for blessing me to work for one of the finest police departments in the United States. Secondly, I'd like to thank my city council Chief Roll. Let me stop there for 1 minute. Chief Roll is one of the best leaders and also administrator that I have ever had. And I would like to thank everyone for this day of recognition. But I'm also wise enough to realize that it's not so much about me. It's about the fine command staff that I have, and also my immediate supervisors, my FTOs, and also my fellow co-workers. Lastly, I'd like to thank my wife and my family for all of their understanding and also unconditional love. Thank you.
You say one quick word.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr.
Officer
Ford.
Tanner didn't mention that he came here highly educated. He has a master's degree. That's one of the reasons why I kind of stole him from the county. Smart guy.
Next on the agenda is the presentation of safety awards for the month of November. Winners, Will Worrell of the Utilities and Jesus Gonzalez. And I'm going to ask Councilwoman Amanda Garner to make those presentations.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm glad to fill in. The City of Homestead recognizes 3 employees each month. They must be full-time employees, free of accidents and injuries for the preceding 6 consecutive months, and must not have received workers' compensation benefits. And tonight, we're honoring Mr. Will Worrell. Come on up, Will. And Jesus Gonzalez. Is Jesus here? No? Well, just so you know, they get a certificate, a paid day off, a safety badge, their names posted for recognition here at City Hall, and a $25 check from our attorneys. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Garner. Item 5E is the presentation of certificates to the Citizens Academy. I see Dr. Marino is here from Florida National University, and Mr. Manager, and whomever else.
Mayor and Council and everyone here in the viewing public, twice a year the city conducts what we call a Citizens Academy. It's somewhat a Government 101 class that we give here. We do it in partnership with FIU. Dr. Marino and his crew comes in and I say kind of, but does, not kind of, but they do give somewhat of the academic and historical perspective on government, real interesting lectures that you get. It's we follow, and we come in, and this is what they say about the particular activity. We go through just about every activity the city does, from the police department, the manager's office, to electric utility, to public works, to elections, voting, everything involved in government. And we come in afterwards and talk about how that's done in Homestead, and we hope that they kind of match to some extent from the academic side as well as what we do in practice. But this is a 7-week course. It culminates in a tour of city facilities. The goal of this is to take interested citizens who apply to come to the Citizens Academy, present them with information on government in general and how our local government works. They get to see faces, names, listen to what the city does. When they leave that class, they're well equipped to know how their city and their government operate. If we like to say we're putting disciples out there, so to speak, for the city, because we think that it's important that the citizens get the correct information. Not that we do everything right, but you'd be surprised how much information out there is really half truth and half fiction and everything else, and gets built up beyond what a scenario may really be. And we know we have a group of people who say, well, wait a minute, did this happen, that happened? They know what to ask. They know what to tell people to call, who to call, because we want to know if something's going wrong. So this has worked very well, and the people that have come and gone through the class have become friends. They become more active in city operations. Some of them are even on boards. I have a couple of them sitting out there, but we are very proud of this particular program, and tonight we have some people, those that could make it, come back and receive their certificates for completing. This is the third class that we've had, and we'll start another one probably sometime April, May. I can do that to Lillian because that's her burden putting all that together, so it keeps her busy. So with that, I would get Dr. Marie, would like to say anything? I'll get the
Well, as manager, Kirk Ivey pointed out, this is our third year doing this program, and I think it's one of the most important programs that the Metropolitan Center at Florida International University does, because it really creates an educated citizenry. If something happens, if the trash is not picked up, if their electricity goes out, if they have a zoning issue or a code enforcement issue, this class helps them direct what's the overall problem, what is the theory of how to solve these problems, and then the practical aspect of how to resolve their particular and specific issues. And I would like to thank your staff for taking time out, coming at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night, and speaking to our group for 30 to 45 minutes. And I think that shows the dedicated civil servants you have here working in Homestead.
At this time, and I know not everyone is here, Mayor, if you might like to join us here to hand out these. I don't see, is Bill Ball here, William Ball? Sharon Wilson? Rena Martinez? Rena? Yeah, I thought I saw Rena. Patrick Traylor? Roberto? Yes, we're going to do the obligatory picture when you. The Roberto Burrows. Is Roberto here? We have Maria Burgos. Maria? We have Maria Artiega. Letitia Schaefer. Did she make it? No. Louis Avila. Louis is on our Planning and Zoning Board. He didn't make it today. Louis Gutierrez. Louis. Okay. Julissa Sershina. Probably. The one I couldn't announce had to be here. I killed her name. Sorry. It's not going well. Deborah Dickerson. Julio Polo. Eric Babcock. Eric. Now they do this for 2 hours every Wednesday for 7 weeks. They visit with us. Donna Crouch. Donna. Adelia Martinez. Aaron Solomon. Aaron. Bradley Clark. Daryl Sanders. Daryl's Brian, you know who you are. I couldn't pronounce your wife's name either. Serchiai.
Cherokee, aye.
Just as it's spelled.
Just as it's...
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm okay.
One of the best groups we have.
While they're getting set up for their photo, if I could, anyone in the audience that has attended the Citizens Academy, would you raise your hands if we have, because I know we have, all right, yeah? We have some in here, so they actually come back and get involved.
Jen get her haircut today? Jen got her haircut today? She did? No? Looks like it, shorter. Fun begin. The fun begin.
I would like to recognize Chief Gene Cole from the Miami-Dade Fire Rescue. Would you come forward? I know the Chief wanted to introduce himself to the community tonight. Chief Cole is the Acting Operations South Division Chief.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As I said, I'm Gene Cole, and I'm coming down representing the Fire Chief, Herminio Lorenzo. He's asked us to get more involved in the communities, and so we want to come out to the different council meetings and make our presence known and to field any questions or concerns that you may have. I can field any now, or if anybody wants to meet me outside, we can talk a little bit if it's more on a one-on-one basis, but just want you to know that we're available and trying to be a little more involved in the community.
Chief, one question is, what's the status, and I think we have a station coming too in the Homestead area. We could give an update on this fire station.
It's coming along. In a meeting the other day, they presented the 5-year plan where we stand with different stations, and of course the station down here is moving along much more ahead of many of the others we have. Some even haven't even bought the land for. But I know some of the units are anxious for it to be built so they can get out of the tighter quarters they're in right now. You have probably some of the best coverage down here. You have 4 units housed in one station right now. Of course, they'll move, but you got good coverage down here.
Well, thank you, Chief, and welcome to Homestead, and you certainly will hear from the community, I'm sure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Is there a motion on the consent agenda?
I'll move it.
Moved by Councilwoman Bell. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Garner. Any questions on the consent agenda? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? If there's no objection, I'd like to move item 10A, business from the city manager, reference the discussion and or action on the Homestead Quarry Redland Company. Mr. Manager.
Mr. Mayor and Council, you have before you I guess for discussion and action, and my recommendation is that we terminate our current agreement with the Redland Company in terms of working and at the fill pit on 344 Street, US 1. The reason for this is we've had a number of violations. Of course, we all know that we are under, right now, a cease and desist order from Durham due to the actions of Redland violating the permit. The city is responsible for the permit. We entered into a partnership with Redland Construction to dig fill. Subsequent to that, we sold our fill to another company called Shores Development, which we have some commitment to them to ensure that they get their fill. However, right now they can't get anything out of there as well as anyone else because we have this cease and desist order. There are a number of other breaches in the contract in regards to our permit requirements and criteria. These are, I can't say it any other, are pretty much purposeful. I can't see any, maybe once or twice as an accident if you push twice, but the types of things that have occurred and have occurred recently are just a disregard for the criteria of our permit. I cannot, as your manager, guarantee that I can keep our permit there in order and guarantee that all the requirements got to be met, and could be a significant issue for the city if this permit is pulled from us.
I'll move the recommendation.
Moved by Councilwoman Bell. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by the Vice Mayor. Question? Any comments?
Just a quick comment. I think it's timely, and I think that we must act quickly and very expeditiously to show Durham our good faith in the fact that the City of Homestead does take a cease and desist order very, very seriously, and that we are going to act very quickly, very expeditiously, and that we are a city that abides by the law, and we will abide by the law. And so I absolutely recommend quick approval and quick action on this matter.
Thank you. Mr. Vice Mayor, anybody have the floor?
Yeah, there's a quick comment to Kurt. I think tonight's action is going to be that proverbial first step of the journey of 1,000 miles. This will not go quickly or quietly. It's very complex and interrelated, and I hope that you help all of us stay on top of what's going on, and let's not lose sight of the forest for the trees, I guess. There's some significant financial issues, I think, facing the city under any particular avenue of travel.
That's a good point. This will more than likely be contested. I think we can say that with certainty. I just want to mention also we have representatives from Weiss Serota that are working on this with us here tonight also. And we also have Ed Swaycon, who's our engineer of record out at the that not only handles our mitigation but also handles the fill pit as well.
Do we have any feedback from Durham since that initial meeting? Any progress toward any kind of...
Where we are now, we had an initial meeting with Durham. At that meeting, they wanted us to resurvey the lake. The city, through EAS Engineering, Ed Swaycon, has hired an engineer. They should be in Wednesday, I'm told, to tomorrow. They'll be in and should be finished by the end of the week, I'm also told, on the schedule. Somewhere in there might shift a little bit, but to get our survey in. They're surveying the lake to get the depths, and this is an independent survey by the city. They're also surveying the fill pile that is there, and that will be to us, we hope, at the end of the week. The default notice and termination notice will request that Redland remove all their equipment. They've already been given to stop all activities, and they've done that. But to remove all their equipment, there are also some material there that doesn't belong, in violation also with a permit or no permit, that's there as well. So we're telling them to remove that material as well.
I would suggest, if I might, and I don't want to get off into litigation issues, David, but maybe we don't want to tell them to take the equipment. That might be something that we may want to sequester in anticipation of what may happen in the future.
We'll take a look at that, but our impression at this time would be to tell them to remove themselves and all of their equipment. But we'll take a look at that.
Now, how quickly could we, because I know we have a major obligation with Shores, Now, how quickly can we identify someone to come in and once the cease and desist order is lifted by Durham, how quickly could we proceed in negotiating with some other firm do?
I don't know that we want to address all of that at this point. Suffice it to say that the city's interest is protected in the agreements that have been entered into with the Shores Company, where basically Shores is authorized to take enforcement action against Redland if necessary, so that the city's interests are protected. So that would be further in the implementation process. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. I know this is a sensitive issue, so we may not want to put too much on the record this evening. Any other comments? All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Back under item number 7, which is the quasi-judicial portion of your agenda this evening. Under public hearings, quasi-judicial public hearings, please be advised that the following items on the board's agenda are quasi-judicial in nature. If you wish to comment upon any of these items, please indicate the item number you would like to address when the announcement regarding the quasi-judicial item is made. An opportunity for persons to speak on each item will be made available after the applicant and staff have made their presentations on each item. Swearing in. All testimony, including public testimony and evidence, will be made under oath or affirmation. Additionally, each person who gives testimony may be subject to cross-examination. If you do not wish to be either cross-examined or sworn, your testimony will be given its due weight. The general public will not be permitted to cross-examine witnesses, but the public may request the council to ask questions of staff or witnesses on their behalf. The full agenda packet on each item is hereby entered into the record. Persons representing organizations must present evidence of their authority to speak for the organization. Further details of the quasi-judicial procedures may be obtained from the clerk in accordance with Code Section 2-591. Any lobbyists must register before addressing the council on any of the following items. At this time, council members must disclose any ex parte communications concerning any items on the agenda. Hearing none, at this time the clerk will swear in any persons who wish to testify on any quasi-judicial item.
Please raise your right hand. I state your name. Hereby swear or affirm that the information I present shall be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help me God. Thank you.
Item A is a resolution of the City of Homestead, Florida, granting final plat approval for Keys Garden, 523 condominium units and 406 townhome units on approximately 109.6 acres of land within a planned unit development located south of South Canal Drive, west of Southwest 152nd Avenue, north of Town Center Boulevard in Centergate No. 1, and east of Shores at Keys Gate, as legally described in Exhibit A and providing for an effective date.
I'll move the resolution. Okay, we have a motion for the resolution. We have a second.
Second.
A motion and a second. Is there anyone here on behalf of the applicant? If you'd step to the podium, please, sir, and give us your name and address for the record.
My name is Serafin Leal, Shoma Development Corp., 5835 Blue Lagoon Drive, Miami, Florida.
Thank you. Any questions from council? Mr. Porter?
Question for staff. It's the proverbial final plat. How long has this been talked about?
You had the T-plat in front of you in March of 05.
March of 05. So, I mean, at this particular point, to have any kind of a position other than the position of the T-plat in the process, again, it's that over and over and over again, we talk about units on top of units on top of units. If there were a reason that someone were to try to, at this particular juncture, say no to this process, what's the downside?
What was the last part of it, sir?
What is the downside?
Probably legal action of some fashion, I don't know. For practical purposes, we've approved this already, and the final plat is really the final dotting the i's and crossing the t's legally. So for practical purposes, we give them approval to continue with this, and they've already built most of it from the T-plat.
So this is basically a ceremonial approval of something that's been approved well before tonight?
Yes, sir.
And is well under construction.
And well under construction. The point is, that if the community listens to every time there's a unit that comes across the dais and it's approved as though it's an additional, it's very easy to be confused. And the point that I'm trying to make is this has been approved and it's going through all the processes, and tonight is the final process by which it goes through and is over with.
Yes, sir. And again, just for reference, this is part of the DRI, so it's been around for quite a bit of time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Porter. Anything further from council? Anything from staff? It's a public hearing. Are there any comments from the audience? Close the public hearing then. Is there anything further from council? We have a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, have a roll call vote, please.
Councilwoman Garner? Yes. Councilman Porter?
Yes.
Councilwoman Bell?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Losner?
Yes.
Mayor Warren?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item number B is a resolution of the City of Homestead, Florida, granting final plat approval for Portofino Villas West, located south of Southwest 312th Street, Campbell Drive, and west of the Florida Turnpike Extension, as legally described in Exhibit A, an 18.10-acre site consisting of 211 townhouse units and providing for an effective date.
Is there a motion for approval? Moved by Councilwoman Bell. Is there a second?
Second, Mayor.
Second by Councilman Porter. Any initial comments from council? If not, I'll open up the public hearing. Any comments from the audience? Any comments from the audience? If not, I'll close the final comments from the audience. Any final comments from council? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Vice Mayor Losner?
Yes.
Councilman Porter?
Yes.
Councilwoman Bell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Garner? Yes. Mayor Warren?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, the next items, item C and D, you should see on your revised agenda that the preliminary plat has been scratched out, so both of these approvals will only be for site plan approval. So item C is a resolution of the City of Homestead, Florida, granting site plan approval for Villa Portofino East Townhomes and Cabana, located north of Southwest 312th Street, Campbell Drive, southeast of the Homestead extension of the Florida Turnpike, and east of Southwest 152nd Avenue, Kingman Road, as legally described in Exhibit A, formerly known as Pod H within the Malibu Bay Plan Unit Development, 189 townhouse units on approximately 30.80 acres of land and providing for an effective date.
Is there a motion for approval?
I'll move it.
Moved by Councilwoman Bell. Is there a second?
Second, Mayor.
Second by Councilman Porter. And I see a recommendation here from the Planning and Zoning, a vote of 5-0 on the 16th of November. This is a public hearing. Any comments from the audience? Any comments from the audience? If not, I'll close the public hearing. Any final comments from council? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Vice Mayor Losner?
Yes.
Councilman Porter?
Yes.
Councilwoman Bell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Garner? Yes. Mayor Warren?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item D is a resolution of the City of Homestead, Florida, granting site plan approval for Portofino Professional Center, located north of Southwest 312th Street, Campbell Drive, southeast of the Homestead extension of the Florida Turnpike, and east of Southwest 152nd Avenue, Kingman Road, as legally described in Exhibit A, formerly known as Pod G within the Malibu Bay Plan Unit Development, a 3-story, 60,000 square foot professional medical office building on approximately 4.3 acres of land, 4.03 acres of land, and providing for an effective date.
Move the recommendation.
Moved by Mr. Porter for approval. Is there a second?
Second, Mayor.
Second by Councilwoman Garner.
Comment?
Question?
Comment?
Councilwoman Garner, comment?
I've expressed concern over us needing a light at Kingman and Campbell, and Mr. Brea, you mentioned before that the county is aware, but we didn't have things coming, or they weren't approved yet. Do these approvals help us expedite that? Because we need it desperately.
Actually, they do, and as a matter of fact, the county's already working on the study for this particular intersection, so...
Great.
And it looks good.
Great, thank you.
This is a public hearing. Any comments from the audience? Any comments from the audience? If not, I'll close the public hearing. Any final comments from council? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Porter?
Yes.
Councilwoman Bell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Garner? Yes. Vice Mayor Losner?
Yes.
Mayor Warren?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item E was deferred to the January 17th meeting. Moving on to item F. It's first reading of an ordinance of the City of Homestead, Florida, granting the request of Wonderly South Dade LLC for a rezoning from AU Agricultural District to R1 One Family District. Also granting preliminary plat and site plan approval for Southern Rose subdivision located on the east side of Southwest 152nd Avenue, north of Southwest 328th Street, and south of Southwest 320th Street, as legally described in Exhibit A, a 10.21 acre site consisting of 48 single-family units and providing for an effective date. This is first reading.
I'll move it.
I'll second it.
Moved by Vice Mayor Laza, second by Councilwoman Bell. Any questions from council?
Comment, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilwoman Bell.
Thank you. I called Mr. Shanu today and just talked with him ever so briefly. And this is a good project. This is exactly what, we talk about what we want, what we're encouraging for more on the east side. And I made a comment to Mr. Shanu that maybe this council and maybe Councilman Gardner with code can look to some way that we can encourage more single-family homes on the east side. I know that the ones we just approved, they were final plats, and they were well within they were well within the density requirements. But what we've seen is just townhouse upon townhouse upon townhouse, and not that they're bad products, but that can we do something to encourage more single-family homes like what we're seeing right now with 4.8 homes, 4.8 homes to the acre. So this is more of what we are looking for, what I'm looking for. I guess I should speak for myself, of what I'm looking for. And I'd like to encourage us to go back to the drawing board on this, and maybe we can encourage more of homes like this on the east side to kind of offset and balance the high density and just conglomeration of townhomes and condos on the east side. Thank you.
Mayor?
Councilwoman Garner?
Thank you. The project is good. I was just curious. We have Keysgate south of it, and we have Oasis north of it. How did we end up with 10 acres in a strange shape?
Unfortunately, I do not know how the sale of land works, but I do have a couple of things I need to mention for everybody when I have a chance, if your questions are done at this point. How we got to this skinny piece of property, I have no idea, ma'am.
It's a nice project. It came out good. I had a couple concerns. It's not a PUD, so we don't have certain requirements, but it looked like they were going to offer a park.
Well, not a park, but let me give you a few little pieces of background on this project. First of all, we're asking you to look at it for a first reading. We're going to have, if everything goes right, basically on tap for second reading the 17th of January. However, there's a couple pieces that are still missing. A couple pieces that are there, I think is very important to note. If you remember, this is right above East Lake. East Lake was very concerned in how the edge of their property worked against the Renaissance development to the east. That got resolved. This is to their north. So this project actually had three different neighbors to work with: the East Lake to the south, Renaissance to the east, and the Renaissance Charter School to the north. Well, essentially what we ended up doing here, obviously the applicant has done it, but Development Services and the P0 is involved to try to get the same sort of melding between the neighbors to make sure that both are happy with the end result. And right now it appears that they are. So what will bring this entire property is similar to what's at the east side of East Lake, in terms that it'll be a small berm and it'll be a 6-foot chain link fence and have some plantings on it. That will be done essentially around the three sides, so that in all cases when this project is done, the neighbors will not have a problem with what's being here. And again, since it's being done in probably the same time with Renaissance, that property line will probably work even easier because they'll be there at the same time. Because of that, and you mentioned the not a PUD, etc., the neighbors had some concern relative to who would maintain it, etc., and I realize Ms. Batiz is here, she may address that. They did have a long meeting between the neighbors and the applicant, and they have given us today a draft, I guess, of the covenant. They'll take care of most of their concerns back and forth. With a little bit of luck, that will be resolved. By the time we come for second reading, we'll tell you that everybody is happy, and we can tell you to, obviously, you can go ahead, please. There's one item that which is still outstanding at this point in time. Actually, yeah, one item. and that's the traffic study. We still do not have all that stuff together yet between what was supposedly provided, what really was, so we've agreed that at this point I'm going to ask you to approve it at first reading. We will need between now and second reading to have the traffic study come in, have it reviewed by B&A, any adjustments made. All that has to happen before I ask you to run the second run of it. If it's not ready by the 17th, I'll come back at the 17th, I'll defer it to the next time, so that when we bring it back for your final second blessing, it's done. I got one other little piece of housekeeping to toss at you. School board sent me today a slight change to, again, these people had the meeting with the school board, offered the money for mitigation, everything is fine. School board, doing a little house cleaning, had the wrong address and had the wrong zoning. So by the time you see it next time, their page will be in there with the right zoning and the right address so that everything will follow suit. That's really all I can add at this point, unless you obviously want to talk to Ms. Patisse.
Well, my major concern was because it's not in any of the other PUDs was compatibility. And it looks like East Lake is happy, but if there's any other comments, please let me know now. I know Mr. Nagengast is here. He's an East Lake resident.
Okay. In the meantime, Mrs. Garnoff, my friend the attorney here tells me the traffic study was submitted. We just have to do a little more tweaking on it, so don't want to give the feeling that there wasn't a traffic study done. It just needs to get finished.
Councilmember Joe Nagengast, I'm the president of East Lake. Yes, we did meet with them last Wednesday on the 14th. We hacked out some of the details. They seem like they want to work with us on this. It's a nice little setup for us over there. We're going to work with the berm. They are going to have a homeowners association that hopefully is going to be rival to us over in East Lake. One of the concerns with the people over there is the street, because there is no cut across the medium. And going into this place, they're having to hang a U-turn between Northgate and East Lake, and vehicles are cutting across onto the common area already. So we really would appreciate, in looking at this, to do some kind of a traffic study, because we don't want these cars just hanging hanging U-turns constantly in front of our places. Mainly right now, that's one of the things just for this first step, as we'll try to work things out with them. Good. And we appreciate it.
Good. Thank you, sir.
Yes, good evening, everyone. I wasn't planning to talk on this issue. I have something else later on. But I have a couple of questions. One is for the council, and the other one is for the builders.
Give us your name and address for the record.
My name is Reverend Wilfredo Rivera. I live at 1511 Northeast 11th Street. I'm just wondering, I see how easily this so-called housing of multi-family units are approved so easily here. And I'm a family person, and I'm wondering, when are we going to see building of family parks where we can walk with our families and our grandchildren? Because we're running out of space for that. And I hope that you also have an answer for that, and the overcrowding of the schools. Once all of these so-called family houses, townhouses are filled, where we're going to put all the students? And third, the overcrowding of the streets is already showing. I don't know how many of you really live in the neighborhoods and travel through our intersection. So I'm really wondering, what are we doing? I hope we have a wonderful plan to take care of all of that when we have all these people moving in. And for the contractors, I just have one simple question. How come investors, they find out before we do that they're building houses? Because every time I bring somebody from outside, family or friends, to try to buy a house, we are told, oh no, they're all sold already to investors that keep driving our prices up. And we know we're already being infected with high taxes and you name it, everything else that goes with that. But I have some other comments for later on regarding another issue. I want to thank you for this opportunity, but please think, because I see these boats are going too easily here. And again, I will speak later on the other subject and hope we can get some resolution here. Thank you. Good evening.
Thank you. Any other comments from the public? Well, I'll close the public hearing. Any final comments from council?
Ms. Lyle, I have any?
You have any comments on it?
I
I don't, other than say that we will be happy to continue working with the staff and the East Lake Homeowners Association to address the issues.
Thank you. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Bell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Garner?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lozner?
Yes.
Councilman Porter?
Yes.
Mayor Warren?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, this brings us back to item 8, legislative matters. Item 8A, resolutions. Resolution of the City Council of the City of Homestead, Florida, providing for approval of the lease termination agreement between Miami-Dade College and the City of Homestead, Florida, for the purchase and sale of the Wellness Center building, providing for the approval of temporary license agreement between Miami-Dade College and the City of Homestead, providing for approval of educational endowment pledge agreement between Miami-Dade College and the City of Homestead, authorizing the city manager to execute the agreements, authorizing the city manager and city attorney to take all action necessary to implement the agreements and to finalize and sign all documents necessary to complete the transaction, and providing for effective date.
I'll move it.
Moved by Vice Mayor Laws. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Garner. Any questions?
Just a comment, Mayor.
Mr. Porter?
Obviously, the college is in favor of dissolving this relationship. So it's not like the termination is under any kind of duress.
No, they're in favor.
Okay, well, it sounds like the resolution would mean we're severing all ties with Miami-Dade, and that's not the case. This is a mutual agreement that everybody's in favor of.
That's correct.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Porter. Any other comments? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Mr. Mayor, item B, ordinances. Item for second reading, an ordinance of the City of Homestead, Florida, amending ordinance 2005-0934, providing for amendment of Community Redevelopment Agency, CRA, budget for the fiscal year which commenced October 1, 2005, in order to decrease both the revenue and expense budget by $8,243, providing for severability, providing for effective date. Final reading of the proposed ordinance.
Moved by Councilwoman Garner, second by Councilman Porter. Any questions from council? If not, I'll open up for public hearing. Any comments from the audience? Any comments from the audience? Is amendment to the CRA budget of $8,243. Any comments? If not, I'll close the public hearing. Any final comments from council? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Vice Mayor Lozner?
Yes.
Councilman Porter?
Yes.
Councilwoman Bell? Yes. Councilwoman Garner? Yes. Mayor Warren?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Mr. Mayor, next item, second reading of an ordinance of the City of Homestead, Florida, providing for a 12-month extension to the 9-month building moratorium enacted by Ordinance 2004-0831 on issuance of development orders and development permits within the southwest neighborhood, generally located from US 1 to Redland Road and from Maury Drive to Southwest 8th Street, Lucy Street, as shown on Exhibit A, exempting industrial and specified commercial and detached single-family residential development, and providing for an effective date. Final reading of the proposed ordinance.
I'll move it, Mayor.
Moved by Councilwoman Bell. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by the Vice Mayor. Any comments from council? If not, I'll open the public hearing. Any comments from the audience? Any comments from the audience? If not, I'll close the public hearing. Any final comments from council? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Porter?
Yes.
Councilwoman Bell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Garner?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lozner?
Yes.
Mayor Warren?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Mr. Mayor, next item, first reading of an ordinance of the City of Homestead, Florida, amending City of Homestead Police Officers Retirement Trust Fund by amending Section 22536, created, and Section 22539, contributions of Chapter 22.5, Retirement Plans of the City of Homestead Code of Ordinances, reducing the employee's contribution rate to the fund from 9.65% to 7.65% of the fund member's base salary and overtime up to 244 hours, providing for severability, providing for inclusion in the code, and providing for an effective date. First reading of the ordinance.
I'll move it, Mayor.
Moved by Councilwoman Bell. Is there a second?
Second, Mayor.
Second by Councilman Porter. Is this one of the items the state required for their monies, or this is a union negotiation?
This is a union negotiated item.
Any comments from council? If not, I'll open up the public hearing. Any comments from the audience? Any comments from the audience? If not, I'll close the public hearing. Any final comments from council? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Bell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Garner? Yes. Vice Mayor Losner?
Yes.
Councilman Porter?
Yes.
Mayor Warren?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Public comments at this time? Anyone in the audience have any comments? Any public comments at this time?
For the record again, I'd like to state my name, Reverend Wilfredo Rivera, 1511 Northeast 11th Street. And before I go on the issue that brought me here today, I do want to thank the council for about a year ago. I stood up here and to put up a little fight, regarding the 4-stop-way sign on our corner. And I'm sure that made the police department very happy because we haven't had accidents in that corner ever since. Thank God for that. And again, I've really been enjoying my time on that corner. Now, for the last week, I noticed something strange going on in the neighborhood. And I saw this post laying down in front of the yards. And I said, wow, they're really replacing all of those posts that were damaged by Walmart. And just to put a note on that, I was one of those affected real bad by Wilma because my whole porch blew out and it ended up in the backyard, and I'm still working on that. So it was that bad. Now, to make things real bad, today, as I'm decorating the front of my house for Christmas, I saw these trucks coming in, putting all kinds of tags in this post, and I approached one of them and I asked them, what's going on? He said, oh, we're putting heavy-duty electrical powers going across the streets. And that kind of surprised me. I said, well, that's a surprise to me because, we have not been notified that something like this is going on. So I went and I talked to the neighbors on the 1400 block as well as the 1500 block, and they were all shocked. Now, like I did the last time, I talked to all of them, and they all answered me the same thing. Oh, I thought they were replacement posts. When in reality, they were shocked when I told them, no, those are electrical wires that are going somewhere. Now, I am imagining there's going to be a house being built up on the empty farm there. I can imagine only that's maybe what it is for. Now, my question to the council, Mr. Porter and Mr. Losner, because I know you both cover part of that area. First of all, how come, a neighborhood is not notified of such a drastic change, because it is changing the atmosphere. When I sit in my front porch, it's beautiful to look out and not looking at poles or electric wires going through. Not long ago, after Wilma, there was a big report from the Herald newspaper regarding how weak those posts are. And when I look at them, they're not any different. They are the same posts that they've been using. So that means that our neighborhood, the character is going to be changed completely when they finish that. Nobody, call any one of us to let us know that what's going on. If you are catering, once again, to the big contractors who do not live in our city, they probably live in Coral Gables or South Miami Beach mansions, because, see, they don't live in our community. They don't see what we see. They don't live what we live. So I'm really wondering how long this is going to continue. And let me tell you, the community, my neighbors, they are waiting for an answer tomorrow. They want to know what's going on, how come they were not notified, and they will be signing a petition. We already called in the newspapers and the television, because in reality, a couple of weeks ago, we brought all of you here We trusted you, and that was a good election day, even though there was only a few who voted. But those who brought you here, we put our trust in all of you. Now, when something like this happens, it makes for a sad moment for us.
Mr. Mayor?
Do we have a report on that?
Yeah, first of all, and this is something that we learned out of the academy, you need to contact us, meeting staff, and we will get an explanation for you tomorrow. I can't tell you right now because you're bringing that up now, and I haven't had a chance to look at that, but we will have someone get in touch with you tomorrow, and we'll find out what's going on and make an explanation, because right now I can't explain that to you. But this is another case of, give us a chance to make the explanation before you come up and, say you're sorry you hired these people or voted for them or all of that. The staff is the one really you should go to, I think, first, and we can explain to you. Then if you're not happy, I think here would be an appropriate way of doing that. But we certainly understand your concern. And what we'll do is tomorrow we'll be in touch. You going to be around tomorrow at home? Or?
Oh, yes, sir, I will.
Okay. Then I will have Mr. Paulson here, who's our utility director. He's brand new, by the way, so he probably won't answer tonight, but we need to get your information so we can call you and get in touch with you tomorrow.
I appreciate that, and I thank you. However, the posts are there ready to be put up. Again, we're going to get an answer after the fact. That's why we decided to come to the council, because it just so happened that the meeting is tonight. I found out today at 5 o'clock that was going on, because apparently whoever is doing the construction, they thought that they can put a fast one on us and come sneak the way in, and we were not going to find out about it.
Well, I don't think there's a big plot here. Wherever we put our poles, there's an easement that we own.
Well, we do have a wonderful easement in the back, and everybody is asking the same question. How come the easement in the back, the back alleys were not used? Again, I'm not going to take the time, but tomorrow, hopefully, we expect an answer, because I will be talking back to the neighbors. And the petition will begin to vote.
Before they go up, we'll be talking to you.
I would appreciate that.
Right now.
Thank you very much, and good evening, and Merry Christmas to all of you.
Mr. Mayor, can I just let me ask the manager a question. When there is an overhead system put in, do you come to the council and get approval for any kind of a system like that? I mean, I have no idea.
Let me tell you, since I've been here, no, but I don't know. They have existing power there now, and he said there's poles behind the house. I don't know. I can't answer the question right now as to why they would be doing it in front.
I'm just saying that the point is, to allude that we would have done something behind the scenes and not afforded the community opportunity. I don't even know what we're talking about.
No.
Now, if there's poles being strong because they have to be strong, then that's another issue. But I've never been in this position for 7 years that I've sat here, for 8 years that I've sat here, never been asked to go to the community about an electrical pole being strong.
No, I agree. I don't recall anything. I understand if we've moved them maybe from the back where they exist to the front. I'm not sure I don't know if it's part of a new transmission, based on the substation. I'm not sure at this point. And I've talked with Greg, and we're going to find out tomorrow.
Well, I'll wait for your update, but I've never been in a situation where I've been asked about an electrical pole or...
Now, usually they've been up so long and we have easements, and if we're doing anything, we're really replacing usually where they're from. So I'm not quite sure. And the new construction, out there is all underground. Okay. So I'm not right now.
Is that our territory?
I'm sorry?
Is that Homestead?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Porter. Any other public comments?
Yes, Joe Nagangas, Eastlake. Once again, I'd like to just say that ending out the year, and it's been a crazy year, I would like to thank the council for all you've done this year for us. There are those that really appreciate what you've done, the police department, and all the people that work on the city council, and hope everyone has a happy holiday. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. We will end the public comments and move on to the business from the city manager. Mr. Manager.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor, Council. Just a couple of things. One, for the viewing audience and the audience that's here, I want to restate that tomorrow, Tuesday, December 20th, Congressman Mario Diaz-Balart and the city will host a meeting to inform the residents about Medicare's new prescription drug benefits. That is Medicare Part D. For some of the people, that's been a very confusing issue. So Mario Diaz-Balart, who's always very supportive of us down here, has put together a presentation, and representatives from Medicare, SHINE, which is serving health insurance needs of elders, and the Social Security Administration will be at the William F. Bill Dickinson Senior Center. That's our senior center, to explain how the new Medicare prescription drug benefit works. They will also be available to answer questions about eligibility and financial help. That's tomorrow at 10 o'clock at the Senior Center, the William F. Bill Dickinson Senior Center at 43 Northeast 16th Street. So people here in the crowd, people viewing, if you know someone who qualifies for Medicare, they may be interested in coming and getting some questions answered and some assistance on the drug portion of the Medicare benefit. Secondly, City Hall will be closed on Friday, December 23rd and Monday, December 26th. We'll post signs on the doors as well. There will be no garbage or trash collection on Monday, December 26th. Normally when we don't pick up trash, that coincides with the county closing the dump site where we take our trash and dump it, or garbage, I should say. Also, lastly, City Hall will also be closed Monday, January the 2nd. So those are the holiday closings for the city. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. Councilwoman Bell.
Thank you. Yes, Mayor. It's been a very busy couple of weeks. I'm going to do a little recap. There was a Farm Bureau membership installation banquet this afternoon that actually Councilman Gardner, the mayor, and I went to. It was very, very nice. And we just very quickly ran over to the Patches Ribbon Cutting, which is a pediatric care for very special needs children. And I really looked to wonderful, wonderful things for that. Also, my oldest daughter took my 3 grandchildren to the Breakfast with Santa this past Saturday, and they had a wonderful time, said it was very, very well done. So I just want to say well done to our Parks and Rec department. And the Employee Appreciation Luncheon last Friday was also lovely, and it's just once a year where we honor our employees for a job well done for the year. Also attended an event called Fun for Kids. It was an event at the Speedway in the Champions Club, and it was their inaugural fundraiser, their charter fundraiser. And Fun for Kids is something that is very different in that it's a special program for kids who are financially needy, but it's not just about tutoring, it's about sports, it's about extracurricular activities and soccer and karate and helping kids in sports and getting them there and getting them sponsored, if you will. So I thought that was very, very exciting. Also, I attended 2 of the Black Stallion Literacy Program's First Touch, and that's where I attended the West Homestead one and the Laura Saunders, and that's where they line up all the first graders, and there's horses lined up, and each child walks up to the horse, pets the horse, and they're instructed about the horse, and they walk back and they get a book to read about a horse. And then the event will conclude at the Rodeo Fairgrounds where they get the Black Stallion, and it's called another book called The Black Stallion. It is a wonderful, wonderful program. The kids are excited about the horses and they're excited about books. So it's just another program to get kids excited about reading. Also, I was the guest speaker for another charter event. It was the banquet for the brand new Junior Civitan Club in our community. So that was very, very nice. And John Moss is the sponsor for the Junior Civitan Club. So I was very pleased to be their inaugural speaker. Also, I spoke at the SciTech graduation ceremony. And SciTech is a school for integrated academics and technology, and it's an offshoot of Job Corps, and it is a wonderful, wonderful program. And they have a Miami campus and a Homestead campus, and they're actually considered charter schools. And they had one graduation ceremony up by the airport, so I was very excited again to go and be their graduation speaker. Also, I attended the Chamber of Commerce Awards banquet. Congratulations to Barbara Hank for being the Athena Award winner and Richard Alger for winning Citizen of the Year. I can't think of two more well-deserved citizens in our community, and they are wonderful, wonderful people. And closing, I just want to say something very politically incorrect and radical. Have a very, very Merry Christmas. That's it, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilwoman Garner?
Thank you, Mayor. I'd also like to give kudos for the Breakfast with Santa. The Parks Department did a great job, as well as the Mayor's Youth Council and the Police Explorers. They're always there to help. I had a great time with my nephews. I know everybody else there did. Also, today was a busy day. At the Dade County Farm Bureau annual meeting, we had outgoing President John Sanchez, and I was pleased to issue him a proclamation on behalf of the city. He did an excellent job. They honored the Butlers as Farm Family of the Year, and the new president is Robbie Bishop. And the Farm Bureau is actually getting a lot of attention from the state. We had Representative Ralph Popple, who's actually the Agriculture Committee Chairman, there to give the keynote speech, and Congressman Juan Zapata was there, Juan Zapata was there, as well as Julio Urbina, and they seem to be getting Dade County is getting a lot of attention that they need, and Dade County Farm Bureau is doing a great job. I want to congratulate them and keep up the good work. I was also attending the Patches grand opening today. It's actually Patches PPEC, which is Prescribed Pediatric Extended Care Center. This is a great organization. They're a nonprofit. They help children with disabilities. They'll take anybody. They've been working on this for 6 years now to get a facility in Homestead, and they're located on Chrome, just north of 10th Street. So if you want to stop by, the students from South Dade, I think it was the Defiant Club, helped actually renovate the facility, and it's beautiful. I encourage you to go stop by and say hi to the kids. I want to say congratulations to Bob Farnes for being Volunteer of the Year. Good job, Bob. And I hope to see all of you Friday night at the Seminole Theater fundraiser. I know the mayor appointed Councilwoman Waldman to work on fundraising, but I know if she was here, she'd tell you to come out because it's going to be at the new Speedway Boulevard Champion Club, the new facility there, and it's beautiful. So come help raise money for the Seminole Theater and have a good time. It's a cocktail hour with Sean Cassidy. And other than that, happy holidays. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Losner?
Well, thank you, Mayor. I'll just keep it short and thank staff for a very busy and productive year, even without the 18 or 20 storms that we had this summer. It would have been busy enough, and I know we've got some real tough issues ahead of us and a busy probably next 6 or 8 months. I look forward to it, and I want to thank them for their hard work and dedication. Just wish everyone a very Merry Christmas, and we'll be back here hard at it right after the first of the year. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Councilman Porter?
Thank you, Mayor. Just one point. We had a very interesting and very enlightening meeting earlier today with regards to the transportation issues that we all face. And it's unfortunate maybe that we put it in a night where there was so many things going. I know that the council is stretched very, very thin, and we will do it again, but I will say that it's very exciting if you were able to be at the meeting to see some of the initiatives that are out there and some of the cutting-edge issues that the city has taken forward as a community to go to other agencies to get support for our system, because our system doesn't run totally on its own internally. It runs on the back of DOT and Florida Turnpike and Miami-Dade County, and there's a series of hurdles that have to be overcome. And I will say, Mayor, I know you and I were the only ones able to attend tonight, and we will get that information to the ones that were busy in other meetings and appointments. But there is a serious amount of work being done on the transportation issue, the education issues, and across the board, the concerns that have been brought up from the community don't fall on deaf ears. So I will promise that we will continue to bring, I think the final, and the consultants have left, the final draft of our transportation plan is due into us mid-February, which will give us an opportunity to proceed to the county and to the other jurisdictions to get support for what we feel are our major concerns. There were short-term goals, mid-term goals, and long-term goals, long-term being 20 years, short-term being anywhere from 1 to 3 to 5 years. And they identified the biggest bang for the buck and the shortest amount of time to implement those. And I think that I think the mayor was pleased with the presentation and the objectivity that they use in your approach to looking at the short-term issues, because we do have some what appear to be, what we know are very, very short-term issues that will make huge, huge sense in the overall scheme of things, just as simple as our traffic signalization and the time frames in which they allow open signals and closed signals and turn signals. And those are some of the issues that have to come in and will come in with this traffic master plan that will allow us to go forward to the MPO to Miami-Dade County and get some concessions on those issues. So I'm very pleased with what the consultants brought back. They've been basically pushed to understand that this is a very, very urgent issue. This whole community is concerned with transportation, as this whole community is concerned with education. And certainly there have been extremely huge strides made in both areas. We're not satisfied, but I think that this traffic plan is going to be a real nice tool in our arsenal to carry forward to get some real immediate results for our traffic significant problem that we see. And also there was some issues with regards to the turnpike widening. We took a contingency forward to Tallahassee. We've gotten some verbal commitments from the legislature to do some things that will help the Turnpike Authority bond more money, and then borrowing or bonding more monies, they'll be able to do more projects. And hopefully one of the deals that we'll be able to make will be our project will be one of the ones that stays at the top of the list instead of in the bottom of the list, because everyone is competing for resource and everyone is competing for dollars. And we have been up there, the mayor, all the council members beat the drums for this community and for some support from the other agencies. So that being said, Mayor, I know you were able to attend the presentation. I think you enjoyed what it was able to bring us up to speed on the initiatives that are being done. And in defense of the community, we are trying to put the information out. We have public hearings, we have public input meetings, and we can't seem to get anyone there. We will have to find a better way to get the message out. Because I know there's some of you in the audience tonight that were able to attend the transportation update. And I think there was a significant amount of information. And I think most of the ones that were able to attend were fairly comfortable with, not happy, but fairly comfortable with the positions that we're in or we're positioning ourselves for the very near future. So, Mayor, we'll have to figure out, once the final draft comes back in February, we will hit the road or do whatever it is necessary to show the community the initiative that has been created in this transportation committee that you initiated a little over a year ago. So I guarantee you we will continue to bring that message forward.
Thank you, Mr. Porter.
Thank you, sir. That's all I have, Mayor.
And one thing Mr. Porter did mention, and as he said, I was extremely impressed with the presentation today at 5:30 with an issue that is so important to this community. That's the transportation needs in Homestead. How do we get from point A to point B and get there in a way that we are not crowded like some other communities? And I think the consultants have taken a short-term view, a mid-term view, and a long-term view. Where would Homestead be in terms of their roads and their sidewalks and their signalization 5, 10, 50, 20 years from now? And that's what I call good public planning to keep a quality community. And I think this report is going to be very, very important to Homestead's future. So If you are not able to listen to the presentation, they will be coming back next month, and we would like to get as much input as we can before we finalize this plan. And once the plan is finalized, we're going to implement that plan and move forward. But I was extremely impressed. Just one small accomplishment. Some of you been, and Mr. Porter, I was hoping that you didn't mention in this presentation that
You're going to cut me off again. I made one.
Finally, they're putting the light up there at BJ's. The light going up. So, and that's just, and you know how hard Mr. Porter worked on it, but you have to realize when you're depending on other agencies to do it for you, you have to wait on their time schedule. But we got it up, and it was, I think, Mr. Porter's goal to get it up before the Christmas holidays, and look, it's going to happen.
They got to turn the lights, they got to turn the power on. There's some lights hanging, but there's no power yet as of this afternoon.
So once the power is there, so that's progress, people. Well, thank you, Mr. Porter.
Thank you, Mayor.
Can I have the, one thing I wanted to do this evening was to share with the council the new chairmanship for 2006. And after careful deliberation, careful deliberation, I hope that all of you embrace your assignments. And how fitting when the vice mayor talked about the hurricanes. Well, I gave him a new assignment in the hurricane preparedness. So how fitting. But I just wanted to share with the community, for the vice mayor, he will continue to chair the annexation and city hall effort, the Northwest Master Plan effort, hurricane preparedness, charter review, and the Park of Commerce. Councilwoman Linda Bell will going to be budget and finance, education, the FIU initiative, and disability issue advisory board. Councilwoman Amanda Garner, Mayor's Youth Council, continue with the city code, and a new committee, marketing and public relations. Councilman Norman Hodge will to have community development, utility and technology, and will work with Amanda Steele with the Mayor's Youth Council. Councilman Porter, public safety and code enforcement, infrastructure, and public works. Councilwoman Wallman, management review, park and rec, tourism, and the Seminole Theater restoration. So those are the new committees for 2006. There's an opening under the planning and zoning. I'm recommending Mr. Stephen Shelley live on in the northwest section, which we need some more representation on the northwest side. Mr. Shelley is a local attorney, young, aggressive, bright.
I'll move your recommendation.
Look forward to serving. Moved by Mr. Porter, second by Councilwoman Bell.
Excellent resume.
Excellent.
And he's young.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Historic Preservation Board designation, 1090 Northeast 18th Avenue and 217 Northeast First Road. Is that a recommendation from the Historic Preservation Board? Is there a motion for approval?
Actually, it's not a motion item, it's just a, they want to...
Just to receive and file type item.
I would urgently invite the community, if you have not been out to the racetrack, to visit the Champion Club. It is a fabulous facility. It will be one that all of you will be proud of, and I hope you take full use of it. It is first class. It is an impressive addition to that facility, and I think that if you go out there and just tour it, you will be very, very impressed. It represents the people of Homestead very well. And again, I want to thank Mr. Porter for that transportation master plan. And somehow, as the pastor talked about earlier, about, what are some of the issues out there, and we just got to do a better job, and that's why I created the Marketing and Public Relations Committee, because we need to do a better job in letting the community know that we're not in the back, we're in the front with schools. Councilwoman Bell has been very diligent in making sure that as we grow and develop, that the schools are online. And we're one of the few communities that are growing but we have a tremendous amount of schools coming online, brand new schools coming into Homestead starting in 2006. So as you see the growth and development, just know that we're on the cutting edge with charter schools and public schools coming into Homestead starting in 2006, in addition to the ones that we received in the last couple of years with the Keysgate and Waterstone, and there are others on the way as a result of a tremendous effort from the Chamber of Commerce, from the City Council. There's a tremendous amount of support from the community. And now we're in the 5-year plan for the public schools. We're going to be bringing schools in. We got the 3 Education Facility Benefit District schools will start 2006. So we're on target to address the needs, the educational needs in this community as a result of an effort by so many people in this community. So it's happening. And in addition to that, the community must know that we have started implementing this Transportation Master Plan with that $7.6 million from Congressman Mario Diaz-Balart this year. So we already have funds available to start implementing that Transportation Master Plan. So things on track. We're going to continue to find resources to bring additional schools, to improve our road system, and to certainly do everything that we can to make sure you get from point A to point B as quick as you can, because we're going to have the road improvements, and we're certainly going to have the quality schools. Starting with, we got quality schools with the ones we have built, but I think the ones that are online is going to be very, very impressive. And I think Homestead will be a model for other cities in terms of what you can do when you work together with the developers and the elected officials and the community. We can make things happen, and I'm sure the ones that are actively involved would not allow us to move forward without having these schools online, and we're going to make sure that these schools come online. And the first one is targeted for the fall of 2006, the first EFBD school. 707. So, and I know that there's discussion as we speak about a high school somewhere in Homestead, a charter high school. So there's efforts being made to address the needs of this community. 2005 has been a very challenging year for not only the people of Homestead, but really the people in the state of Florida with the hurricanes. And we all should be very thankful, very prayerful, and very grateful that we were able to see it through in spite of some difficulties in other parts of the country with people that have really suffered as a result of this hurricane season. So as you celebrate Christmas and New Year's, just think about the ones that were not so fortunate. Some have lost their lives, have lost their homes, have lost their jobs, you name it. It has been a difficult year. So I wish each and every one of you a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, be safe out there, and enjoy the holiday season. Thank you all very much.